How we start these things?
First, we started off with what are we talking about today? Just Mr. Clarke was like, he thought I used to come up with the discussion topic. I
Oh,
was like,
really?
no, this way is literally sit down and I'd be like, baby, what we talking about today? This what we talking about today. Boom.
Like, I think one time ago we used to do like formal introductions, then we just kind of swayed away from that because I don't know. You watch Vlad TV?
If I watch
Vlad TV?
No.
No?
No. Normally don't.
It's more like a candid conversations now where we just sit and talk
about different.
It's like, bro, whatever comes to mind, we talk about it. I'm not afraid to dabble into a lot of stuff. I don't do religion. I don't do politics. It's a politically driven country.
Yeah, the two main things you gotta stay away from.
Because of my profession, my professional profession.
Mm-hmm.
And then, what else we don't talk about? Religion.
I mean, religion, politics. That's only it, because everything else
it's free speech. I don't get what nothing else after that.
Because literally every other topic we didn't touch about abortion, sexuality.
Okay.
Oh, what else? What's the other hot topic?
We
ain't never talk about no like medical stuff.
No.
Yeah. So
I think in light of
you not being a medical expert.
I'm not. It's not about being a medical expert. I just
no conspiracy theories.
Let me say this. People do not see the importance of medical insurance, right? The insurance don't always running me down, this, that, and the third, right? But then when somebody has to go into the hospital,
they cook out.
Your dog, your headphones. Stop sending me those fucking flyers about sauce and ribs and all this dumb fuck. Like, you should have had insurance.
Okay, let's start there. Because actually, because we have health fitness trainer, and we're going to talk about keeping your body in tip-top shape.
Fair.
One of the best insurances is being in the best shape.
Fair.
So, and eating a great diet.
Fair.
So that is true.
So we setting a premise, you know. See how you doing, man?
Go
back to that has pissed me off a little bit too, though.
It infuriates me. Like, first of all, fuck all you people who want me to share flyers, and I've never shared my flyer one time in your life. But you have to like, yo, Kev, share this flyer. No, fuck off. I'm not sharing nothing. Because you never shared mine. You never bought nothing from me. You never patronized me. So how are you take me off the broadcast list. Don't ask me to share shit. Secondly, if you do not have insurance, that is pure ignorance. Because you could get insurance for the same amount as a bottle of Hennessy. Right? But you choose to drink and kill yourself instead of protecting yourself. I'm not coming to your cookout. If you don't have insurance, good luck. That's all I'm going to say to that. Life insurance, your Grammy getting the money. You ain't getting that money. Medical insurance, that is to keep you alive.
Why do you think you should have both?
People can't afford both. I mean, they could, but they prioritize...
I would say we prioritize the health insurance.
They prioritize life insurance over health insurance. Yeah. Life insurance isn't for you, bro.
I mean, you could do things because you could borrow off your life insurance.
That's not for the purpose of you get life insurance to borrow money.
No, but that's what people do.
Is that what you get life insurance for?
No, you get it for the event that you die. But like you could do things. You
pay off your house. Yeah. You cover all your loans that you would have gotten from other banks. Your children ain't got to pay off your bills when you go. You don't say, I got $1 million life insurance. I borrow $1 million and leave your family with more expenses.
No, but I'm saying people borrow on them.
You actually can borrow off of it, is basically what you're saying.
No, you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't do that.
I mean, but that's what they take the insurance
for. Especially if they give you like 12% interest on the borrowing that you don't, which is higher than banks.
I mean, depending on what the provider.
Double banks.
And it depends on if you have whole life or I forget what's the other thing.
Term and whole life.
Yeah.
Right?
So it depends on what your situation is because people, manipulate the situation like that.
But I've seen the situations of a lot of people. It consists of vets,
That's not
Bars.
everybody. Man. That's not everybody. That's not everybody.
Grab you on the table at a cabana.
No, that ain't everybody. That's not everybody.
It's a vast majority of young people have no idea about life insurance.
No,
and its
but we talking
importance.
about the people because we talked about this before.
I speak about I think the majority.
Yeah, but the majority don't have $1,000 in the bank account. So
let's just say if you had that audience and you wanted to talk to them to say, hey, all the younger people who banging who whatever on the table and these dudes who doing this, that, and the next thing. Let's just say you had that audience to talk some sense into them. What would you actually say? Sell them that life insurance. Sell them that the next one, medical insurance.
I always tell people, because I try to empathize with people in that age bracket.
Mm-hmm.
You have until you're 27 or 28 to continue to fuck up. Right?
Okay.
You have, like, if you're a young person, you have a limited time to continue failing.
I would say 25, bro.
25?
Yeah, because I feel like that's when your frontal lobe fully developed. And you ready?
Have the most. Is that when you like have the most sense?
Yeah, because okay,
you think so?
You could do garbage between 18.
No, I'm
25.
talking about just like life in general. Like,
that's
try that new business venture.
Yeah,
take that loan, pay it off. Not a big loan, but
but you have that latitude between 18 and 25 to mess up because when you hit 25. Bro, in a blink an eye, you 30. And you get 30, you almost 40. So
you 40.
So you need to start mid-20s.
Okay.
Being like, hold on.
To get a running start on getting your life in order.
Because so much people put it off. You see 30-year-olds ain't got nothing, bro. And it's like, what you did during your 20s, you just partied all of the way. You have nothing to show. And I want Mr. Clarke to get into this later, like, how people, and that's another pet peeve of mine.
Mm-hmm.
You think you did all this damage to your body for 20 years. You think you can get rid of it?
And you expect me to get rid of it within a month or two?
But these guys do it. They do it like in 2 days. They go to the
but it's like, wait, you did all this damage over 10 years. It only can take 10 years to reverse it.
Ain't nothing the doctor can do, bro. BBL community shout out. There's an uproar this week. I love it. I watched the city burn from afar. I didn't say shit. They was just talking to themselves. This one sleeping with that one. This one giving the community the STDs. I was like, sit back. I had a bag of popcorn. My wife was laughing. I was like, baby, this is good. This is good. But yeah, he teaches you long-term maintenance. The BBS teach you like, bro.
The BBL teach you short attention span, bro. Because that's all it is. Because at the end of the day, a lot of them physical enhancements, if you don't upkeep your body.
Yeah. I mean, even with physical enhancements, you still have to upkeep your body.
Yeah.
So that's basically...
Yeah.
Even with physical... you have to... No, even you have to realize between BBL, stuff what you do with your stomach and all of that, there is a certain weight that you have to go into that procedure with, and there's a certain health marker that you have to have that procedure. You have people dying on the operating table, not because they went the cheap route, it was because the person took a shortcut on their markers, on their blood markers. They will tell you, listen, you need a certain cholesterol, you need a certain weight, you need to make sure that your heart is good. Yeah. I have had some people come to me to do it because it was a medical thing. But in order for them to get it, they have to be healthy in order for that to get it because they may not wake up off of that operating table. That's how that actually goes.
Okay.
I have a question. Fair point. So because I've seen your content, when women come to you and say, I'm going to get a BBL.
Do they come up and say, I'm going to get a BBL?
I have a couple persons that
when
I do consultation, they come to me and they say, listen, I want to get a BBL. And I politely tell them, okay, that's no problem. I ask questions as to why. They'll explain and give me their reasons. And I'll just let them know, okay, well, your life, your choice. But let's see if we could go this avenue first. And if you don't like this avenue, then go that avenue.
I don't know.
No, man, people are, nowadays, being in that for about 7 years, they up front I could show you some of the texts stay up front. I want a big hip and I want a flat stomach and I want that today. And I used to be like, no, you ain't getting it today, but you get it. People are upfront with their stuff, and then you do have people with actual medical issues, whereas they are overweight, they are obese. I wouldn't say because of lifestyle, but because hereditary circumstances, and due to that, the doctor would recommend, hey, listen, you need to drop a few pounds, but then to make this process speed up just a bit to save your life, you have to do something else, and then you have to do something else to tighten up your skin after that. So things like that happen.
Yeah, with the lipo.
Yeah, so just like everything, BBL, all of the stuff for the stomach, it's still medical. Doctors still do it. And now with the, like I say, with the BBL aspect of it, choice, do that. Kudos and amen. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with you going on the table. Nothing with you saying that you want to do another lifestyle choice. It's totally up to you.
Bro,
talk to me. Because I know you want. Talk to me.
He's hurting my head. So, like, first of all, they know I don't like them. Like, I don't fuck with BBL guys. Like, let me put that out there. Like, y'all know, right? But it's like, how do you have that conversation with a straight face and not be like, but you don't need it, or like, you look fine the way you are? Are those thoughts that...
That's not for me to have that conversation with them.
Fair.
Oh, honestly, that's not for me to have that conversation with them.
Jay's my boy. I would tell him, bro, you don't need to get a fucking...
I don't need to get a surgical six.
Like, see, and then also and then you have to realize now that's like more. Notice what you just say. If you go to Jay and you tell them that, as dudes, we good with
no,
that.
but I'm saying
for
like
females, that's totally different.
If this is no, but she's your friend. I feel like there are certain conversations you could have with friends. If your friend asks you to train them, and you don't believe your friend needs a BBL, do you say, "But you don't need that. Just train"?
Hence, when I said we'll have a conversation, like I said in my previous statement, we'll have a conversation.
Right.
Let's see if this route is going to work.
Okay.
And if you are not satisfied with this route, at least we put you in a healthy marker, and you okay. Where if you do decide,
do you find that people are more inclined to take the other route instead of just...
I have built women from the ground up. I have, yes.
Say it again.
Yeah, I've built women from the ground up. You could go on my Facebook page. You could go on my Instagram page. You could go on my website. I have women that I've literally built and hip for. Because a hip is just a muscle and it just needs to be worked.
You should take us through the process of that. What is it like? I guess almost like building a house. Like, what is your thinking beyond? Okay, let's say a woman comes to you, probably 5'4", almost 200 pounds. Like, what's the first thing you start with? Okay, you need to start doing this so this can help this.
Consultation first. That's the first thing. I need to know what's going on with you. What's happening. Once I know that, I take them through the gym through a process. Because with 200 pounds, I need to know questions. How's your knee? How's your neck? How's things happening with your joints? Because 200 pounds, that size, what you on that height, what you just said, just not 9 times out of 10, some things will be happening. So I have to design programs around that person.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how that basically works.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You sound like a person who's well versed in fitness. Some people just go to the gym and...
I've had those.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've had those. They go to the gym. I've had instances where I had to correct somebody, but they was on YouTube looking at something. I said, yeah, that worked for them. That ain't gonna work for you because of your height.
Everybody's different.
Mm-hmm.
So you tailor workouts based on the individual.
Yeah.
There's no cookie cutter formula.
No, one size doesn't fit all.
No?
No, one size doesn't fit all.
You find that people are more inclined to take the right, I wouldn't say the right route, but a BBL isn't for everybody. Right?
Next question.
Mm-hmm. You want to ask questions?
Yeah. Come to the mic. Come to the mic.
I ain't going to the mic.
You can ask
I just want to know what percentage of women that you train are more likely to do the natural route of like exercising versus going to get a BBL?
Out of the 7 years I've been doing personal training, I didn't have any woman that actually went to do it. I actually had women that after they did it, they came to me.
They come after the surgery?
They come after the surgery because there's a certain formula that they need, or there's a certain lifestyle that they still have to maintain. And that's what I was basically saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because you did that, that doesn't mean the work stopped.
Do you think that there are more people willing to do the work of not just meeting the marker to get the surgery, but like who are willing to do the natural route?
Yes.
There are more of those.
You have more that doing the natural route. It hurts. It sucks. I even scream inside the gym when I waking out. Now I understand why you always go over to the DR to go get it because they're seeing it.
Yeah.
I scream that inside the gym because that is hard. This is hard work. That is straight up hard work.
Yeah.
That is straight up hard work. It is straight up hard work. After you done finish that, you gotta go there. You gotta get the diet right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
After getting your diet right, you gotta go deal with your personal life. And then after your personal life, now you gotta come to me. Here comes your trainer now telling you to adding crap onto your life. So all of that I had to learn to, hey, this person just wants to live, let them live. That's what I had to learn.
Yep. Do they, I don't know, are more people satisfied with the results? Because, as working out, I get my natural shape. I develop the muscle the way it's supposed to be developed, right? I go to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I look at a picture or something and say, hey, it's like going to the barber shop.
Yeah.
I want
that.
to get the high top fade. Yeah. Or whatever your boy cut was.
Okay, hold on.
Whatever your boy cut was, give me that cut.
Okay. Sorry, but you gotta ask that again. She just was asking something.
The cut, let me get the same cut he get.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a thing? Like they don't want to work the muscle and let it develop the way it should, but they want to say, well, whatever she got or he got, I want to get that.
And the answer is yes. I've had a lot of those. And to that I respond whenever I look at somebody on TikTok or somebody that they're following that has like thousands and probably even millions of followers, like, no, body look right, her body look this. I said, okay, there's 3 things that you didn't see just now. The work she either put in, the work she didn't put in, or the things that she probably taken and you didn't know.
Yeah. No, because I was telling, so when I did, I was like, they was like, why like Ashton Hall or Big Groove, why they so cut and big? I'm like, bro, they on some performance. You don't wake up that cut and looking like that every day. Like, no, bro, like that ain't all natural because the body goes through ebbs and flows. You're not, or like how women be thinking, oh, if I lift weights, I can look like a bodybuilder. I'm like, you ain't know what exactly.
Unless she is taking something, no, she won't look like that.
Exactly, or eating, or working out twice. No, you never look like
never look like me. If you have more, if you have estrogen, I have testosterone. You'll never. You ain't gonna come out looking like me with a weave and some makeup. That ain't gonna. No, that's not gonna work.
No, they be on that juice.
That's not gonna work like that.
You know how difficult it is not to talk about these guys. We didn't come here to talk about BBS today, man.
You asking questions, bro.
I just wanted to know, like, natural over BBL is the route to go? Yes or no?
If natural over BBL is the route to go?
Right.
I mean, yeah, that's the way to go. But then at the same time, if you go the other route, that's okay too.
Sure.
But I think that's only a question for the women, bro.
Fuck.
Because
I don't think.
No, but I'm saying, no. Which mind say wake up and say, bro, I want a girl with a BBL.
Not one.
Exactly. So then you don't care.
I think they're like good playthings. But as far as the long term goes,
what you mean by that good playthings?
Exactly what I said. I don't. You're making this really difficult. Like, bro, BBLs are good fucks. Let me say that again. BBLs are good fucks.
Are they? How do they feel?
I don't. I've had.
So here's my thing.
You need to come on. Go on. Okay, let me say this. When I say they're good playthings, a lot of BBLs.
They're like empty calories, basically.
I don't have a problem with the body upgrades or enhancements. I just think if you lack substance to accompany the enhancements, then you're just a good fuck, bro.
What you mean the good substance by that?
Like your mentality is shallow. You just want a BBL so you can sell your body, make money to buy clothes and not prioritize your life.
So how is that different from Ashton?
So
how is that different from Ashton, and how is that different from bodybuilders who use enhancements to basically do the same thing?
Which is true.
It is true.
Both are enhancements, and as it relates to the mentality aspect, you have some naturals that have a horrible personality and a horrible character.
I agree.
And you have a woman that just went to BBL just so she could uplift the spirits and look better, but have a wonderful character and personality.
No, but me personally, I don't think people need to reshape what God already created. It's not for me to decide, by the way, but I think everything that He has done is well done. And I don't think you need to go under the knife knowing the risk, especially if you ain't paying top dollar for it. You lose a kidney, you got two of those, they take one. You take piece of your liver, that's going to grow back. You got a lung missing, gone. Your blood type is O, so you only can get blood from O. These are things that they probably go and they don't actually know the risk of it. They just want to do it because they probably saw their friend doing it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's fair.
But outside of that, me personally, I'm not a physical attribute type of guy.
You're not a physical attribute type of guy.
Like meaning, like the way you look isn't the top reason why I would date you.
You're a guy. How old are you? And you
34.
telling me this? And you telling me at the age of 34. The number one reason you are going to date a girl is not based on how she looks.
Correct.
How will you approach a person if she doesn't look?
I would approach you, but I'm not going to date you.
You're not going to date.
I'm not going to get into a full-fledged relationship with you just based on how you look. Why? Are you a figurine? You just look good. What is the value in just looking good? What bill does that pay for me? What does it pay for you? I know they talk about pretty privilege with the girl who was biting her nails the other day.
So naturals date BBL's playthings.
No, I'm saying I don't have a problem with BBL. I'm saying have something to go along with the BBL.
And if they have something to go along with the BBL,
more power to you.
Can they transition from your line of sight from plaything to actual dating? Even though they have that?
No, because that's not my thing.
Then there are some men. Therefore, your statement with character and personality is what you go for first. That kind to get devoided now. That doesn't make any sense.
No, don't. Because I tell you, I would look at you, I would be attracted to you initially, but as far as keeping, because you have a lot of them that can get niggas. All these niggas in my inbox. Why did they stop bothering me? You look good. What the fuck? They're gonna be in the inbox.
Right.
But when you say, I listen to you read a sentence, or I ask you to write, are you a doctor? Because your handwriting is shit. Do you know what this legally binding document means? You know, I've never seen that in my life. How much money do you have inside your bank account? I don't know. I'm expecting you to pay all the bills. What?
Okay.
It has me in a state of confusion sometimes. And so as a young man, it has to be more to you than just how you look.
And you are correct. But I mean, we're talking the aspect in general, or aspect of naturals versus BBL?
I never was talking about natural. I was talking about you said
females in general.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I just wanted to make sure because I thought
it's not about naturals versus BBLs, because all of that stuff is preference based. You know what I mean? You like what you like.
Right.
And all men, women were all tailored different. Some guys are wifing women that are BBLs. Some guys are wifing BBLs with no substance at all, in my opinion.
Do you think women feel the same way?
Yeah, women like what they like. They don't like break niggas. I mean, some of them get pregnant by them. Some of them, every season, August and September, they cry about child support. Mm-hmm. Some of them pregnant right now for break niggas. And that don't stop them from doing what they doing.
I feel like your timeline is retailer made for the best. Because literally today, I saw someone make a post about how this boy don't even give her $25 a week for their child or whatever. Like
$25?
Yeah, $25 for lunch.
You could buy so much other things with $25. You can't use $25 for your child.
Yeah.
That's the type of guys women are getting pregnant for.
Yeah.
Anyway. You see what I'm talking about? You see what I'm talking about? It's just, it's like, bro, that broke my heart, by the way.
No, but it was a long post. She was like, yo, you can't even give me $50 every 2 weeks.
$50?
She was supposed to give her child's father was supposed to give her $250 for the child to go on a trip or pay for a ticket or something. I'm like, these little. And she was like, but you always saying you have money and you popping bottles and da da da.
That's accountability after that, really.
I've seen numerous posts of women complaining about these guys after they are pregnant for them, but they're celebrating them before they are pregnant. I guess when life gets real, and that's why I always talk about, like, the physical aspect of things, bro. Like, y'all don't have a kid. Do you know how this person handles if y'all fucking raw, no protection, nothing, at some point, something's gonna come out of that.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't think about these things.
They don't think about those things at the time, but because of the angle that they were going for. They wasn't interested in going for that angle. If I was thinking about it at the time, he was hot, I was drunk, he was drunk, I was drunk, and we went at it. That's what, of course, you and I would have had a discourse on that a few times on Facebook.
Fair. But it's not an excuse.
It's not really an excuse. It's more of the angle of what they were interested in at the time. They wasn't thinking about that. Not saying that that's an excuse. What I'm saying now, accountability comes into play with whether the truth hurts. The truth hurts, but it doesn't set you free from the obligation the truth brings to you.
Fair.
You Great did point. What you did. You're now pregnant. Right. Now, this dude about to bail out, but you was having a good time. He was thinking about something else. But now the onus is on you as a responsibility. So you have two choices. Either plan A or plan B. And sometimes they don't do the plan B. And we have too much medical things out there that you can, I don't encourage it, but
it's at your disposal.
It's at your disposal. And from 1970, from they invented that was it. Women liberation was through the roof. So I don't see why people are going on Facebook and Instagram and all this, he and that, and the next thing. You weren't forced, you weren't obligated, and you were not 100% manipulated. You knew at the time what was happening, and you knew what you was getting yourself into because that's what you wanted at the time. But
wait, because they can say, well, niggas is lying.
Of course. Niggas is lying. And you know what we do? And you know what? And to that I say,
put on a face.
Of course.
And then when you get pregnant,
yes, we do. Yes, we do. We put on an arc for a face.
You ain't seen the red flags though?
We put on an arc. Listen, we put on an arc for somebody when we go out. They're in heels, they're in weave, they're in makeup, they're in eyelashes, they're in nails, but we used to fake ones.
How? I mean,
we are putting on an act when it comes to words, but now you see what I mean.
We're even. You wearing the fake stuff. I am the fake stuff.
No, but what I am saying is that everybody lies. Even if it's not verbally, it's on the other side of things. That's all I'm saying.
I'm putting on to get on.
And she is putting on for, exactly. So that's what ends up happening. But where accountability now comes in, both parties need to be either responsible or understand what the risks are when you do what you're doing. But that's like you say, you went raw, what you thought was going to happen if there's nothing there.
But that's what I just had this conversation with my wife today about, like, when we were younger, before we got married, one of the things that I thought about was like, bro, your family, like, you all have high blood pressure or diabetes, bro. Because if you get pregnant for me, my child probably could have something hereditary.
That happens.
You know what I mean?
That actually goes from bloodline to bloodline, yes.
Like, but these, I know it's a weird conversation. That should not be a weird conversation.
No, it shouldn't.
Because if you having unprotected sex, these are conversations that you need to have. You know what I mean? Like, bro, if you have an unprotected sex, you need to think about what life would look like at some point if I was to be the father to this child with this woman.
But again, like I said, we're not talking, it's at a certain point for anybody when they just want to have a good time. It's one thing, but they're not really, like you said, they're literally not thinking. That's actually for the guy too, because on the next side, on his end, you don't know if she have this, you don't know did you got tested, did you do anything of the sort.
But me and Jay always talk about how niggas just went grind, bro.
Yeah. And then I'm glad you bring up the testing part because Dr. Fox, I just had a conversation with Dr. Fox and he was talking about like how is it not hepatitis. I think it's a rise on gonorrhea or chlamydia going on right now because everybody just free balling.
They don't care.
And I'm like,
no, they don't care. It's kind of sad because, bro, if you tell me like you had it, I'm gonna look at you so sideways, bro. I'm like, what you mean? What did it get? What did it get in return? Did it leave a scar? Did it leave a bump mark? Is it?
No, but people think because you get these diseases and there's a quick fix for some of them to go away, they still do damage on your body.
How do you know it's there? Does it look weird?
No, sometimes even when they do blood works and all that for STDs, even if it doesn't show up
on the screening,
it can actually show up
later.
Yeah. Yes, later. Yeah. So even
these
then,
are conversations that we need to have.
Even then, you still need to be careful.
No, but people thought these things was gone away. This was the 80s and 90s and the 2000s, bro.
No, bro. It's like worse. It's probably worse.
No, it's probably worse now because of the flare. But I'm saying that ignorant thinking. Because how we get here is because they thought these was in the things, and then everybody just like them messages that you saw this week. This person burning, that person burning, you doing all these.
A lot of burning going on in the BBL community, bro.
I didn't see that.
A lot of burning, bro. They burning body parts, all kind of stuff, flames.
No, but it's a serious thing because, like he was saying, like, wait, today, everybody dating everybody. This person had multiple people.
My daughter say, sharing is scary now. That's what they doing.
Right, yeah, but then of course it's fun now. But in the medical community, like I said, because I trained a few doctors and we have these minor conversations. You have to realize that I think I was reading a book about this today. We talk about male body count versus female body counts, right? And they just be like, okay, yeah, females you have too much body count, that's a problem. Males, we do what we need to do. Okay, you know where the problem comes in? If you catch something and your doctor has to now ask you, okay, who did you sleep with? And I need to know who they slept with. And I need to know that pattern because now we need to stop this.
Yeah.
So now if you cannot line that off, now you bring a health issue involved. It has nothing to do with liberation and who has this count or what. It's a matter of if something happens and it's unhealthy, how do we stop that? Because now you don't know who this person was dealing with. Yeah. Some of these dudes is beyond the down low. You don't know that. And then they is do some foolishness. You was doing some foolishness, but you don't want to say. And now we have a problem. This person was probably not interested in, but you was, and then this person do the wrong thing, and now you have a problem. So now the question now is, okay, I need to know. Oh, well, it was only this person. No, it couldn't be. Okay, so now I need to bring this person to go test them in. And now this person need to figure out who else they were sleeping with. Now they need to get tested. And that is the ramification of that whole conversation now, when we come now into this sexual.
So what do you do when people don't remember who they're sleeping with? There's some people that don't remember.
I feel like that's some college type thing for you not to remember.
No, you don't remember your count.
No, people just lie and say they don't remember.
But if you don't remember, I knew you not.
No, but I don't feel like people just forget. I feel like they just.
I don't know. Sex workers might forget.
Huh? They don't want to say. No, they don't want to say what it is, but they remember. Because if 5 of them people on that list line up and they'll remember, oh, flip. Or like they might forget at first and then it'll be like, oh, I forget I do that.
So you think,
and all I remember, yeah.
You think people remember every sexual encounter they had?
Not every counter detail for detail, but like, more so like the person. Yeah,
they remember the best ones,
and you remember
and
the
they
worst.
Remember the absolute worst ones.
And then everybody in between, you either forget, and then something jog your memory, and it's like, oh yeah, I did do that.
And you have the best ones, and you have the worst ones. That's just what it is.
So what if you can't answer that question? Then what? Do you still sleep with them?
What you mean? You can't sleep with them when it comes to what?
If they don't remember that sexual, first of all,
no, I'm talking about no. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm talking about from if you're going to a doctor and they find something on you. This isn't you sitting down like some dude. How much you sleep with, or how much your body count is like? Who does that? No, that don't make any sense.
I think you would ask the guy that way.
But you can know.
That's a conversation that needs to be had, though.
No, but you can know.
What you know?
True observation.
Just watch back and see how she.
True observation. Yeah. See, remember now.
Yeah. The true count?
No. It ain't a matter of a true count. Remember now. Yeah. We observe. You will understand certain things about a woman that could dictate, okay, hey, wait a minute. It's here or here. Same thing with men. Women will be like, hold on, he moving. He's saying he's this, but he moving.
Like that.
All right.
Idillion.
And darling.
You see that?
So everything is basically observations. Actions do tend to speak louder than words.
So you ain't know the exact count, but it's like, hold on. Why are you so friendly with everybody?
Yeah, man. Everybody's so about brothers you up, bro. What's going on?
Man. Like, why you always trying to hide things and saying, oh, so why this person display is your best friend?
No, it's always no. And then when it comes to that, when it comes to fitness and when it comes to men and their fitness, or especially with men, I always just tell them when we are having these hard truth conversations. When you ask, let's just say you ask a woman what it is that you're looking for, what you're asking the 18 to 25-year-olds, the response is going to be different from the 25 to the 35 and from the 35 to the 45 and go up. It's not going to be the same thing. Miss Madam was in her best life here. She is now here. She's looking for the best availability to take care of that. So naturally, the shift from what she was here is going to shift someplace else.
For sure.
And that's just what it is.
I agree. I really just hate that people just catch sense after.
It's not a matter of catching sense.
That's called that.
It ain't a matter of catching sense.
Feeling, or what I would say, if you don't learn, if you don't listen, you feel.
No, but that's how people. I feel like, huh?
Right. Yeah. Like you have to go through it in order to understand what some people is telling you not to do.
But I think you have to go through the game and try to come out clean for you to be like sensible and know like this don't make no sense. Because like when I had this thought when this was 2 days ago when I was like, bro, you know what? If you really sit down and think about it, you hard up to try to have sex with all these people. You don't even if you really look at some of their cleaning habits, you'll be absolutely repulsed.
like
you'll be like, why?
It takes nothing to do that. Real game comes in is when you say, you know what, I like this one. I think I can keep this one. That's where real game starts when you're in a relationship.
For sure.
Fair.
Real game starts when you're inside a relationship.
I mean, you should, and they should look at it like that. They ain't see that.
Like it's like, wait, this person.
Okay, put it to you this way. Let's just be real, yo. If you want sexually and you want to up your body count, you don't need to approach any woman. You could pay for that, and you could just have a notch count. You can have a notch count.
No, I think
you can pay for your own notch count, but to say now when you're talking about, hey, yeah, but I had like 50 layers. Okay, order them 50 layers. How much did you actually sit down and talk to them, converse with them to get a better understanding of maybe this may be somebody that you actually want? Oh no, man, I just paid for it. Okay, so then you don't have
really
game.
Makes sense. And you proud
of exactly. Right. So now the question and this is where the vetting process comes in. I think you and I would have spoken about that before on the discourse on Facebook. Vetting. Women do it quite well, men do not.
Niggas don't vet, bro.
We don't have no standard.
The first person, as far as they concerned, the first person touch me and make me feel good. I am in love all that time. For women, it's a whole new different ball game. And then when they get their heartbreak, they trying to figure out what happened, what went wrong. She ghosts me. She give me missed signals. I was like, no, you just read the room wrong because you was so heavily mentally invested that you couldn't read the room.
Yeah.
And this is where what we call game now comes into play. This is where game actually comes into play. This is where you understand some
young guys don't have game though.
No, a lot of men don't. No, a lot of young guys and a lot of older men do not have game because they don't take.
They have game because they have money.
And even then, Elon Musk is going through hell. And even Jeff Bezos going through hell. Yeah. Money does not substitute game. It gives you a good access to a fair, better marketplace. But when it comes to actual game, no, it doesn't.
Fair. But a lot of guys don't. Like, they're just oblivious. They cannot read. Not just the room, but they can't read body language, bro.
Because at the end of the day, they were always taught to never try to understand the opposite person. And because they were taught that, they spanked on that.
But I think, I do believe that men are being forced to understand women, and women aren't being forced to understand men.
Men are forced, and you know what, you're right, men are forced to understand women. You know why men are now forced to understand women? Because again, a long time ago, they were told not to try to understand them. But then yet, when they keep coming onto the same circle over and over, why did she do this to me? Why did she do that to me? Well, I thought I did everything that you asked me to do. I got you the roses. I got you this. I took you on the dates. You tell me you like these type of dudes. And yet you gone to this dude who's an absolute repulse of everything. When you and I were having a telephone conversation, I don't like these type of fellas, but here comes now, I meet you with those type of fellas. The answer to that is you have to understand that there's two dichotomies in play. You have to understand that there's one side of a guy, and then there's the other side. It's almost like the Batman, Superman type of thing. And both are superheroes.
Right.
But we know who Batman is, and we just know who Superman is. That's just what it is.
Right.
So it isn't that fellas are now forced to understand because there are dichotomies now into play. And what is now into play is now that at the end of the day, what she sometimes says can actually change in the blink of an eye. You just have to catch on to that.
What do we have to catch on to when the change occurs?
You have to catch on now to 1 minute I like so-and-so, I like this, I like that, and then the next minute, we do it as kids. I wanted to be an astronaut one day, then the next day I want to be a cowboy. That's just what it is.
Fair. I think that women have become more self-centered. I don't think they've been taught to understand the male gender.
They have no choice to do so, because if ain't no man in the house, then.
So
was your point of reference to know until they actually came to a point to where they wanted to sort of interact with the male gender on a romantic sort of standpoint? When would they have to actually deal with men?
Understanding intersexual dynamics. That's basically game in a nutshell. Understanding man, understanding women, and you're absolutely correct. Some don't take the time out to actually, as far as they concerned, either all men are dogs or all men ain't inside my league. You have a handful that say, you know what, let me get to understand this person. But then again, it's the age and era that person is in. 18 to 25 will not see Mr. Right, who has all of his stuff together, until she gets to a certain point in her life, whereas, okay, I'm slowing down. I need to settle down. And that's just what it is. Now, you do have some very mature people, and keep in mind now, the statement that was true back then is true now. Women mature faster than men.
Yes, they do.
We take our slow time maturing and building. And
devalue as well. I mean, not to say that people aren't valuable, but
when you're talking about that, you're talking from I understand what you're saying, because when people normally get inside those conversations, what I say is men will understand that their value tends to go up with age. And the reason why their value goes up with age, it's because as they get older, they tend to get better. They are supposed to be in a certain position that can say, okay, I have arrived and I've reached my peak. I have made all the mistakes like y'all had at the beginning of the conversation at the show. I've made my mistakes. I've understood it, and now I got my stuff. This is why there's a trend, and there's always been a trend, younger women sometimes like older men, and that is one of the reasons for that. So Mr. Young Guy, who couldn't get Miss 18 or 25, and she made the statement, wait for me in the next 3 to 5 years, if ain't nothing happen, then we could see where something happen. That comes into play when now he turns a certain age and she at a certain age. Oh yeah, you ain't doing the next thing what you saying. You know who we going for? He going for the same person who we remembered, who was 18 to 25 years old from that time.
Yeah.
Fair.
And that's just what it is. Meanwhile, with females, love them to death. They don't go here. They either go here or they go here. And that's just what it is.
There's some rounds up there.
That's just what it is.
Some rounds. So cougars and double.
No, they go. But the cougars go for the younger.
No, I'm not talking. No, I'm meaning from that aspect. I'm meaning from
from a hypergamous aspect.
Exactly.
So it's like either you want my equal or more. Fair. I ain't going back low.
Meanwhile, fellas, them then reach their peak and like, hold on, this what I was missing. So they going this way.
Yeah.
And then what they call a midlife crisis is technically a midlife epiphany.
A midlife crisis, a midlife epiphany.
It's a midlife epiphany, like
yo,
what
you missed out on.
Like I missed out on so much stuff because I didn't know.
Yeah. Like dudes who get married young. As soon as that, after their first divorce, let's say you get married at 21, and let's say you get divorced by almost 40.
That was one of the things that we spoke about this week, though. Not to pivot, right? But I really hate to see married couples on social media, but
why?
Because I don't truly believe they give you an authentic look at what marriage entails all the time. Every time you see them online, there's always something good.
Yeah, I mean, that's just people. People give you the highlights of their life. They don't give you the lowlights.
Right. But if you're going to drag your wife or your husband along with you and they're going to be giving marital advice, conflict resolution has to be in there somewhere. Let me say y'all, it's like I see fitness. I see people who are heavily involved. I've seen fat people lose weight.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
They turn into instructors. They got proof that this is what I did for my body, that this works.
Mm-hmm.
But it may not work for you, but I know what I'm talking about.
But let me ask you a question.
Wait. Then there are people who've never been fat, never had a baby, they never were overweight, they always were genetically just fit. Mm-hmm. And voila, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. But you have no proof or evidence to backtrack to what you're saying or telling me.
But I would say, when back to the backtracking, when those 5 people, when they first started working out, they ain't show you the clips where they wasn't close to their goal. They might have show you as they were getting close to their goal. That's when they start putting on the videos. And then when you see the final part, and just to show you where I come from, I show you this small glimpse. And that's what people tend to do. Right? We show you, okay, I show you a small glimpse. I didn't show you how long was bad for. I just show you the small glimpse. I show you the closer to the completed point, and then I show you the finished product.
Oh, but that's what I'm saying in regards to, I'm going back to marital social media posts. Mm-hmm. It's like, bro, you're not always going to be having a good time in your marriage.
Yeah. So you want them to broadcast on social media when they broadcast
They broadcast the good things.
I'm on the social media. That's an escape. Why would I want to go to an escape?
If you broadcast the good times, broadcast the bad times. Because let me say this:
people don't want to get embarrassed, bro.
Why would I want to broadcast? No, I don't want to broadcast the bad times.
Why would you not?
No, if that's social media, bro.
No. If you're a relationship expert, or you're giving marital advice, I don't do it. I'm not married. I mean, I am married, but I'm not giving marital advice. My wife is not coming on the show. I'm not doing that.
Actually, that would be a great episode.
I'm just saying, like, let me tell you, me and my wife, our fights is be brutal. Like, break glass, cuss out your big puss, this, that, and the third. Like, we have... Like, once Layla is out of that house, it's like a tables, ladders, and chairs match. We row, bro. We row for real. And my thing is, if I'm going to show you how romantic and sweet Kev can be, you all know how loud I get. Imagine how loud I be with the woman who I consider my best friend and also my greatest nemesis. Like, bro, she's get both sides. And if I giving you advice, I give you the reality of both sides. I can just tell you, oh, my man, he buy me this. He was good for this, and we go on to this. And then we never found a job, get a divorce, was on the verge of divorce. Mm-hmm. How you recover from that divorce when 60 to 70% of marriages end in divorce? Mm-hmm. You should be giving advice on how you're prevented divorce. But y'all ain't doing that. You're just saying, well...
Because I think that would probably work for them may not work for the other person.
No.
Because sometimes...
Not all. Yeah, just like... I
agree.
Let's go back to your fitness. Let's go back to your fitness analogy. Let me see if I could hound this just a bit. Mm-hmm. The guy that's fat, that went inside the gym and did what he had to do and lost a lot of weight, throw on some muscle, throw on some mass, he now becomes a trainer. Right? Fair. Why? Because now he is the finished product, and because he is the finished product, it may not work for you, but I could show you how to get there. But there are still some things that you need to actually learn about the human body and realize that even though you are the finished product, everybody isn't the same. So the finished product for each person is going to be different. Right. Whereas you have Mr. Genetics, he just wake up one day with 6-pack abs and this, that, and the next thing, and boom, he wants to be a trainer. Same thing. He still has to learn what it is to be a trainer, learn the human body, learn anatomy. Fair. But now that doesn't necessarily move any of them out of the equation to give advice. The problem comes in is when that advice is now steps. This is the 10 steps of making the body great. Step 1, squats. Okay, my knee is bad. Now what?
Fair. That's where the learning comes into play.
And this is where the learning comes into play. So I understand what you're saying. Mm-hmm. I think now the correct course of action is you don't have to post it online and say you're an expert, but you just have to realize now that every marriage, every relationship, every whatever they have just isn't the same. So you cannot say that this worked for me, it's going to work for you. And that's in every aspect of any life.
No, but that's why I say what I don't like about marriage is the fact that people, they are quick to glorify good relationships when it's still fresh and it's new. It's something to look forward to. I think that's a part of the reason why a lot of women want to get married to, is because they only show the good parts of the marriage. And the only showing the good part of a marriage is not reality. Granted, I don't think social media in itself is a true reality, but that's another topic. But I really don't believe that if you're online, you're giving marital advice, you gotta give the whole aspect of marriage, bro. Like,
give me an example of what you mean when you say the whole aspect of marriage.
I go back to
what you said about you and your wife just now. Sometimes y'all have table.
I think that there should be a camera set up. Just how you take the time out to set up the camera on for how my day
with
goes.
The photo and with the food and all that.
Yeah, you car rides, get ready with me. We go to this restaurant, we'll buy her flowers, you light candles, all of this good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, let them cameras roll when you're around. Let them roll. You want to edit that? Let me see how you look. You won't even have to give us the audio. I just want to see the hand gestures. I can read body language. If you do this to the camera or you do this to her, I know you just tell about it. If she turned red and she light skin, she mad.
I mean, I think some couples do showcase that because I know one in particular where
well, not who. I'm not gonna ask you to call.
No, I can't say who because the real story behind it, it's shocking, and these people sort of really famous. But anyway, end result is the people like they saw, because when people take their issues online, they unfollowing each other, they making cryptic posts, this, that, and that, and then because the couple was so well known, they came out and say, they going through some trying times, some misunderstanding, because one person started acting out and it made their fan base.
But that's my thing though. I would be more inclined to follow them because of the authenticity. Like they're real about marriage. Like they're real about relationships, bro.
So if you go to a therapist now, my question would be this based on that. Which one would you want? Would you rather go to the therapist that didn't have any problems inside his marriage, but is a professional and understands trauma? Or this dude been in and out for about 20 years with his wife, but he can now sit down and talk to you to let you know, okay, this is what it is, this is what to expect, this is what not to expect.
The latter.
Okay.
I want a person that's been through the fire and not a person who has simply read about fire.
All right. Well, then I guess some big people shouldn't train with me because I have been a skinny person all my life. I just stopped putting on size. So.
Teach his own.
Okay.
I'm not saying don't, because like I said, a lot of things are preference based.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that there should be some people out there who give marital advice that have to show the entire. It's like when home gal from Beyond the Headlines, the prophet lady, was talking about using sex toys. First of all, I know you was laughing because I was all over the floor doing.
No, because I remember when that first said. I mean, I knew that she did because it slipped out one day having a conversation with it.
It's things like that. It's like, bro.
I mean, but people want her to do seminars on marriage because she's this big pastor. You talking freely about using toys and getting on in your bed, so they feel like you more authentic. You talking our same language,
like you're more relatable.
Yeah.
When you could speak about the truth.
Yeah,
like you're not sugarcoating stuff. You're not saying, "Hey, it's always gonna be fun." You're not making it look like it's just fun. Every time I come on TikTok, marriages are fun. they're fun in spurts. But I met a guy the other day. I'm not gonna call his name, but he told me he's married for 38 years, bro. I said, "Wow, how'd you do it?" He said, "Let me tell you this. I love my wife, but not every day I like my wife. But the days that I don't like my wife, I still will never leave my wife." You know what I mean? Like
that's real talk.
Yeah.
He was telling me like, bro, the issue with relationships in the 21st century is that when we break a plate, we just sweep it up and throw the plate away. We don't pick the plate up and try to fix the plate. We just get a new plate. If a relationship isn't, if we have one bad argument, one mistake, one lack of communication, they call it inconsistency or whatever the case may be. You wouldn't message me for a date. I had stuff to do. I was busy. I said hi. I thought about you. That ain't enough. We cut off game strong. That's it. Next man up. When a relationship shouldn't work that way, bro. You should be able to talk. You should be able to fix something. You should be able to communicate effectively in conflict resolution. And that's the thing that I really believe that we lack as far as marital goes, which is why divorces happen. As far as relationship goes, why the dating game sucks.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because people just don't know how to resolve or even express their dislike or distaste.
Most people don't know how to communicate properly, bro. Period. That's just in the story. Like, because we have this thing where everybody's supposed to be Professor X.
So what is effective communication? Because I've always been hearing this term really thrown out like a lot.
It's different for everybody, though. I know for me personally, just tell me, boy, you fucking up.
All right, just basically effective communication is openness, honesty, and transparency.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you know you feel a way about this, but you don't want to feel like you want to hurt someone's feelings.
Yeah, you walk on eggshells
or whatever. It's like, bro, just express and say how you feel, and I can say how I feel, and we can let it be.
Give me the opportunity to decide how I feel about what you're telling me. Like, communication is this. I'm going to the mall today. Transparency is I'm going to the mall, 3:30. Joe Blow and Bruce are going to be there. We're going to be there for about an hour. Mm-hmm. This is what we're going to be doing. Mm-hmm. Look for me to message you, so. Mm-hmm. You see the difference? Like, I did tell you what we were going to do. Yeah. I communicated where I was going to be, what I was going to do, blah. Transparency is I tried to cover all the bases that I knew you was going to ask me about. So you don't possibly have more, although you're going to have some more questions anyway, I still did my best.
So when it comes to things like that, who do you think communicate better, male or female?
I think females communicate better. Okay. Niggas just be like, but this is what you're going to do.
All right. So if you think, hold on. So would you say now that females effectively communicate better?
I think it's a 50-50.
Yeah, because I feel like it's both parties. Like
I think that's something that's heavily lacking in both sides,
especially in today's world.
What is lacking on the male side of from that? What is
we withhold
missing?
Information. And
we blatantly withhold information.
You blatantly withhold information,
Of course, bro. Like I tell you, by asking me that.
And when
I didn't tell you girls to the ball, bro. I tell you all to be there.
It's more so. They feel like they communicated everything, but there's a lot of things that we have to take time to sort of read into, to sort of understand, or they might have said the above water thing, but there's a whole below the depths things that needs to be expressed. But you thought I was going to sort of understand and read the below the depth stuff. So it's like, no, tell me everything, lay it all out.
But I think with guys, you have to like, we're not reading minds, bro.
Yeah.
So you have to tell us, like, in detail, everything. It's for logical thinkers. So you have to tell us everything.
So, like for instance, they saying, "Oh, I feel like you ain't listening to me."
Right, and then he'll say that. So now my question now is: if men communicate logically, women communicate emotionally, where does the effective communication now comes in? Who
Transparency.
is communicating better?
I don't think it's about communicating.
It's about the person who's sending the message.
It's about the person who's sending the message.
Because if I have my way of doing things, you have your way of doing yours. With me and my lady, I try to give her the whole thing because I know she got asked a million questions. I try to go through all of it. I can tell you what it is from the first part. Whereas some guys, they can just tell you, well, this way you're in, this way you be, don't bother me, cool. And that's them.
Mm-hmm.
But that don't mean their lady can be thinking a lot of questions after the fact. And I wouldn't consider that effective communication either way.
And then also when communicating, you can't be dismissive of what the other person is saying.
Okay.
So you have to validate what they're saying.
Yeah.
And it's like, I understand you feel like that. I wasn't trying to make you feel like this way, or
when they say gaslighting.
Right? Yeah, or I misunderstood that what you were saying, or this, that, and that. And then at the end, it's like, okay, how can we fix this situation?
Right. Right.
Because we ain't about to have this conversation over and over and over. What we can do to fix it, and this can be over.
I know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know circles. Like,
so it's like, okay, you express what I say, that's what I say. Okay, what we can fix? Okay, all I need to do this, that, and that. Boom.
Yeah, I think my view on that is once men and women understand that both parties communicate differently.
Agreed.
I think that we would probably get a better understanding on when a woman speaks, why it sounds the way that it sounds, and how it could come off from a logical mindset. And then when a guy talks and he is rendering information to her, how it could come off from a different mindset. Like you say, that may not be transparency. It may just maybe he just giving out certain stuff. And then in the back of that person's mind, okay, well, who was this and who was that and who was the next thing and what time and this, that, and the next thing.
Yeah.
And so that part I am get. But men and women do communicate differently, and that's what makes the dynamics so well. The problem comes in is where somebody is saying you need to communicate like me or I need to communicate like you.
Yeah, that ain't the way.
And then this is where people tell men you need to emote like a woman, and then this is where people is tell women they need to think like a man.
Yeah,
and that's where the problem then comes in.
I think
nobody no longer is communicating themselves. They're communicating on somebody else's level when it's only supposed to be on your level.
I agree. I think that's a big problem.
So when they say effective communication, for me, it's like, okay, from whose angle are you really talking about here?
Yeah.
I think you always base it on if you're in a war and I need to tell my troops, hey, you need to do X, Y, and Z in order to carry out this mission and preserve your life. It ain't matter who it come from. You need to set information to go from point A to point B safely. And that's all that shit matters. So it's like, okay.
Right, but that's the logic aspect of it. If it's coming from an emotional standpoint, that auto might sound a bit different. You see what I mean? But it's still the information. It's how the information is being conveyed.
Yeah. Because I could say that said information in a very disrespectful way, or I could just lay it down like, hey.
And then I'll give you another example. And I know you all is getting in trouble with what text. You missing text. Simple good morning. Then caps by accident. Fast they can send you shouting.
Or if you call them by their whole government name.
You call them by your government name.
Oh, there's a problem like.
No, that ain't in there. You see what I mean? So it's just a matter of interpretation of that. That's all.
Yeah. So it's like, so when it comes to that, it's like once you go through those parameters, you should be good in any event. And I always focus on that because it's like the worst thing you want to be is misinterpreted. So one's laying out everything so people can understand. Now, if they choose to not understand, that's on them. Because if I already express a thing, anything, and clearly stated whatever, and you take it and mishmash it, that's not on me no more. That's on you.
But that's on
because of the interpretation of what they actually would have come
with. I think
with.
the good interpretation should come with a level of maturity, though.
Yeah.
You know, that definitely plays a part in how they receive what you're saying. Because you can mean well, but if they don't feel like you are communicating the way they want you to communicate,
right,
it's a problem. You know what I mean? So you gotta know your audience, know who you're talking to, and you gotta know how to talk to them. I tell my wife, "Boy, I ain't your friends. I ain't gonna talk to you like them. I ain't gonna be a yes man, but I ain't gonna be a no man either. I can tell you the truth. The truth ain't always gonna be pretty.
Nope, the truth ain't.
But it's the truth.
No, and that's why you would, if
you know
in a situation where she says she wants something to tell you, preface it with saying, "Hey, you really want the truth, or you want me to do it?"
I mean, like, certain days, I be like, I don't leave me alone. I don't want to hear no part of this. I don't want no part of this, because at the end of the day, if you don't want my honest response to this, what you about to ask me, leave me.
So how does that play out when the person does say, "I want your honest response," and you give them the honest response?
See, that's go back to my point. That's on them how they take it.
Many days, bro.
So right. So now you're saying, now yes, this is what I want. Then you give them exactly this they want, and now what
that's
happens?
on them.
She grand.
Okay.
That's what you.
No, because if I preface it by effectively communicating, hey, that's that and that, and you say no. I can keep on going, okay, you can send it to whatever happened after this. You asked me for my opinion. I gave you my opinion.
I try to give like a disclaimer
but then that's logic. That's what I'm saying. That's what a man would normally do. But that's logic. But from a female standpoint, like, let's just say they just want to talk to you just to tell you how their day was, just that and the next thing. Susie and accountants doing this, that, and the next thing, and you just sitting down listening. Sometimes it's not really a matter of giving a resolution to it. It's just listening. Just listening. Yeah. And sometimes it is get to a point where time as they finish, we'll be like, okay, so Susie from accounting doing this, she shouldn't take your pen. Next time what you need to do is lock up your desk, move the code and put it to 356. That's logic. Or she like, but I didn't ask you for that. I just wanted you to bear with me. So now she mad at you and she mad at Susan because you taking her for Susan. That's just what it is.
Yeah, that's how it goes. But
so but that's an example of, you sure you want me to tell you it? And then they tell you, you see you mad, and I just tell you that if I tell you this will happen.
I was trying to avoid this. Yeah. But you asked me to give you my honest opinion. Just my honest opinion, bro. You know what I mean? But I think that we were at this place in our country where people aren't being taught life. Mm-hmm. They're not being prepared. I still think somebody at 24, 25 is a kid, by the way.
24, 25 is a kid? Okay, cool.
I think so.
Okay, cool.
I think the maturity level dictates whether you're an adult or you're a young adult.
I would say law says differently, but that's fine.
The law does say differently. Mm-hmm. But I think from a maturity aspect, I think 25, you should have been through something that tell you click on at this point.
That's why I give you the 18 and 25. That's 7 years. Is
18 to 25, you probably getting your first taste at freedom and liberty.
Yeah. That's why I say by 25 you need to start thinking, because that's why car insurance will pay that high premium until you're 25. So because like I say, your frontal lobe, your frontal cortex will be fully developed by then, so you know sense. You done been.
But to say that, like, a lot of people haven't been taught life. Like, they haven't been through much stuff at the age of 25. They haven't been in situations that required good communication. They haven't been in a situation that required good conflict resolution
life will teach
skills.
You. Life will teach you.
Right.
Life will teach you. Now that I agree with 100%. Life will definitely teach you. Life will definitely teach you.
You didn't have anybody else to teach you. Like a lot of people, they grow up in single parent homes. They don't see both sides of the coin until, I don't know, they're in a situation themselves where they themselves are the other side of the coin, meaning he's a dad. He didn't have a dad growing up, but he's now a dad.
So now what?
So now
he's
in a position to question what his mother was telling him.
Yes.
And he is now in a position to recreate the story of
him being a dad now.
Being a dad himself. He didn't have
one, right.
You understand what I'm saying? And so while your mom might have been telling you your dad was in shit, you get to see why your daddy was in fact not a piece of shit. Like you get to see his side of the story.
Yep.
My dad wasn't a piece of shit. You caused my dad to go crazy. Like you run my dad. I see my ma in my baby mother.
I think my dad and I, that's actually a good one too, because my dad and I actually had a very good relationship in my adult years. In my childhood years, it was a bit different because, I was taught different. But when I was going through something and he was there, God rest his soul, because he died during COVID.
Okay.
He and I had the best relationship that we ever could have possibly had. And every day I miss that man. But our adult life, we were good. We were really, 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 really good.
I think my dad would have showed me, like, although he wasn't there for my childhood, a part of him wanted to be there, but he couldn't be there because of your mom. And I think as a father, a lot of men may want to be there, but they got some crazy guys out there who weaponizing these children, and niggas be like, wait, you ain't getting through all this. So you can keep the child, you sort that out, and this is what I believe. At some point, children are going to grow up, and they're going to decide for themselves who is right and who is wrong, who was there and who was not, who could have been, who should have been, and children just know. At some point, they will know. The truth always reveals itself. You know what I mean? And so, I think fathers that want to be there, people say, well, if you was a man, you should always be there. Y'all don't always make it easy for niggas to be there, bro.
And that is true. And like you said, when life happens, like you said, let's just say this is 25 and this person becomes whoever it is he wants to be, and start bucking his toe and understanding that some things don't work like this and some things don't work like that. And okay, I just came from home. They tell me it was like this, but now life's showing me different other stuff. What now tends to happen is, okay, how could I recreate, like you said, the best version of myself towards now my future that I want? How do I make myself my mental point of origin to say, hey, okay, what I learned here isn't the same now with what's actually happening in reality.
Right.
You see? So this is why most guys, I would say, we would preface with, okay, don't do this, don't do that, don't do the next thing. And then they're like, but why? Or don't question me. And then they grow up and they do it. And I say, hey, okay, now I see why they starting to do it. Or it could be, hold on, you told me not to do this because this can happen, but this didn't happen. So why that didn't happen when I did that?
Right.
You see?
Yeah.
So, like you say, life will teach you. Life will definitely teach you. And for the men that are the responsible men that are raising their children and doing what they need to do, and like you say, some people make it hard for them to do. Some people take them to court to say, I don't want him near this person, near this child. I just want him to pay the child support and just go, whereas he's showing the judge, listen, these are the receipts. This is me trying to spend time. This is me trying to call, trying to text, trying to get more into this person's life, and I cannot be there.
Right.
And then you have the opposite side. Of course, we ain't gonna talk about that, where we just have those who just blatantly just right. Just blatant. Just blatant.
Some niggas of that don't give
it's really just blatant. It's really just blatant at that point.
Like, I just wanted to grind you. You catch on too late. You're pregnant now. Good luck.
It was just blatant. It was just blatant. But you do have some dudes that listen, rise up and took and say, you know what, listen, I grew up like this, but this is here now. How could I change this? I don't want this to happen to this person.
I do think that trying to be better than my father is one of the ways that young men can break a generational curse.
Yeah, and I think a lot of young men have done that to where it's like, I don't want to. Like, I watched this video actually this morning where this guy was talking about the same thing of him, him having his sons and wanting to be the better father for his sons than his father was for him, but still having that hurt, not trying to understand, like, why you didn't want to be a part of this great thing.
Yeah, it's like, bro, I look at my daughter, right? I remember when she could have fit I remember when my daughter could have fit in my hand. My daughter's like about tall as my waist now. She's a big kid. She's 4. I say to myself, why would you want to miss that? Why would you not want to be a part of that?
And that's the exact same thing your boy was saying in the videos. Like, I achieve all these great things and I had these child, and when I had my child, I'm like, how would a father say he didn't want to be a part of it?
Yeah, bro. My daughter had sports day on Friday. She came 3rd in one race. She came 1st in another couple of races. It's like, why would you not? And when she finished her race, she didn't go to the judges' table. She ran straight to her daddy to show him the number that she got was 1. Daddy, I came 1st. She was happy to tell me that. Like, why wouldn't you want to be a part of that? Like, I'm still my daughter's superhero. Mm-hmm. I'm still her favorite person. Although I still cut that ass. I still the person that she looks up to. Like, if I'm gonna be saying, tell your daddy, she could buy some grind. Because she know that I love her, but I will discipline her. It's like this. She knows that I only discipline her because I love her. If I didn't tell my daughter nothing, I don't love my daughter. I just let her run around, do what she want to do. I'm careless. I'm not really a father. I'm just a babysitter. But my daughter knows that I love her very much. And a part of raising a child is cutting that ass. But why would you not want to be there when she goes through the process of life? Why would you not want to be there? I was there when she was born. I was there when she went into K1. I was there when she wanted to graduate K5 in June. I was there I'm there for everything. And watching her come into the world, watching her go through the world, watching her do life is something that a father should want to do with his children. But I can't fathom why men would abandon children who are literally innocent in this whole situation. Sure, they ain't do nothing, bro. The mother might be crazy. I ain't gonna ever take that away from y'all, because some of y'all guys fucking crazy. But the children, they just reach. Mm-hmm. They deserve a fighting chance to have both Ma and Pa at the table to show them who to look up to as a father and how to treat a woman in their mother. And if you ain't there for that, then I don't know what to tell you. I was just explaining to them how niggas, how could you not want to be there as a father for your child? Like,
how could you not want to be there?
Yeah. How could you not be there?
I think it's just a fair thing, bro.
Like, some niggas don't care, bro. Yeah. Some niggas, I've had women tell me they gone through the whole 9 months pregnancy by themselves.
Okay.
Like, nigga grind you telling me he's pregnant, they gonna laugh at you. And I'm like, ooh, that's a hard card they can play right now, because you gotta go through pregnancy by yourself.
But was this a relationship, or this just something that was supposed to be happening?
That's your boyfriend.
Okay.
And their boyfriend leave you to go through 9 months by yourself.
Right.
But, like, you're not supposed to go. Like, how could you allow her to do that? And then you bring the child into the world.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to sign the birth certificate. You don't want nothing to do with this child. Like, some niggas just flip the switch. How do you do that? How do you go from we taking these maternity photos, big baby shower, and they're hugging her belly, you know, all these party games, eating the meatballs and the wings and the crab salad.
Wasn't there a similar story to that from an NBA player?
What?
He didn't want to have anything to do with the child.
Oh, that's Anthony Edwards. He
right,
just paid 18 years worth
a child support because he said he didn't want to have nothing to do with the child. But wasn't the story before that was he was telling her he did not want her to get pregnant or something happened? I can't remember exactly what it was.
This nigga's ain't telling you that. I what I was trying to do.
I'm not making that as an excuse. I'm just saying that, you know, that's a classic example of, listen, I had clear communications with you.
Right.
I've had effective communication with you that I did not want this to happen. You saw a payday and you made that payday come true. Now for the next 18 years, I didn't handle all your business. I don't have nothing to do with that.
Yeah, but
now the question now is, who's really wrong in that? Because now the first thing they're going to say is, oh, well, you know, what about the child? You are absolutely right. But did the mother or the father ever think about that child in the first place when the father is telling you, I do not want this, and then the mother decides to still say, okay, I'm going to have this?
But I say this, in the Bahamas, how many men do you think tell women that, boy, I want no children?
Ejaculate and evacuate. That's just what it is. Yep. They
normally
do that.
Niggas ain't doing that.
Dudes ejaculating and then evacuating. That's exactly what it is.
Okay, fair. Evacuate doesn't. Whatever happens.
That's your business.
That's on you. Fair. But I do think that I don't agree with that. That's what I think.
No, and you know what? No, I don't either. I strongly believe within this culture in this day and time, especially men are being raised to a point where now they are more feminized than they've ever been in their entire life.
Raised by these gals.
And now you have an opportunity to say, you know what, let me change that. But you yourself might just be that person. So
fair. If you're getting raised,
you may do more damage than good if you ask me.
I think that the two-parent home is still the strongest fortitude relationship-wise for a child as far as benefits go.
Yeah.
Right? But I also believe that if you don't live in the same house, they still should be able to talk with and have some form of relationship with their father. To the fathers that don't want absolutely anything to do with this. What does this child do to you, bro? What did this child do to you that you don't want to do nothing with your child?
That is to now hurt the person that actually had the child. But now could I say the reverse is the same? Some mothers actually do that to actually hurt the father, and that hurts. And that really do hurt them. The mere fact that, okay, I want to be into that child's life, but you know what? I don't like you.
Fair.
So it's almost like the other way around for the same thing. Is it right? Absolutely not. Let me make that clear. It is absolutely wrong. You should not put your feelings in that type of capacity when it comes to an innocent person. You should not do that. However, reality shows that this is what actually happens. When you're asking that question, that's the answer that actually happens. Not saying that it's right, I'm just answering as to why it actually happens.
Right. I don't know, bro.
Yeah.
I sit down and think about these things. I just get tired of seeing guys rob with $50 and $25. I'm like, that, man. I hate to see every fucking August is the same old dry grind. Y'all love popular niggas. Y'all love to be taking all these pictures and posting these niggas. My mom. And then after nigga leave you with this child and he ain't giving you no money.
The status changing.
Yeah, everything is changed. He break. He ain't got no money. His father's dragging your whole family into it. They just encouraging you with your bullshit. They talk all your business when you stop loving them. And let me say that. But me personally, I think that men, we carry more weight than we're aware of, and we play a pivotal role in the way society is today. I don't really talk about the crime model, but really and truly, we need niggas with sense to raise young niggas to have sense. And if you just making sure and leaving them, just throws out. You got a bunch of emotional niggas who can't resolve conflict, who voice instinct is to pick up a firearm and fucking kill somebody. They ain't thinking logically, they thinking emotionally, which is a woman trait because the niggas ain't there. And here we are, bro. I mean, I know crime consultant, but I do believe that men are very important. More important than we give them credit for. I always tell Jay, I hate these fucking women empowerment shit, bro. I hate it. Because how much more power these guys fucking need, bro. I tell them that because they put like this.
No, but that really is a first though.
1,800 niggas in jail, 60 women are in prison. Women ain't going to jail. Niggas going to jail. Women running away from crime scenes. Niggas killing up one another. Niggas need other niggas to talk sense to niggas. That's just what it is. And until men decide to step up in a real way, I ain't talking about fill out a resume or get them into UB or get them a job. Just have a conversation with them.
A conversation, all right, about
life. Life, bro.
And then say what? What exactly about life?
This what they expect. Or even like your boy from Seafood Sushi. When he was alive, he hired everybody from the ghetto, gave them an opportunity. He was a businessman. You go to Seafood Sushi, you see the whole of Washington Street as busboys and waiters. Instead of them killing up one another, he gave them opportunity. That kept them from going to jail and being another statistic. That gave them the opportunity to start a business of their own, because some of them going on to be cooks. Some of them going on to be other sushi.
Even, what the next place? Cafe Matisse? You actually have those stores, some that have been there for years, where they actually have shares inside the place.
They learn.
And they learn how to do things. So,
right.
Yeah, I understand.
And that's where the mentorship and succession planning comes into play from the older men passing on and not hoarding knowledge onto younger men.
So what our younger men should be learning right now?
Our younger men should be learning. They should be learning. It all varies based on who you are around and what you surround yourself with.
Okay.
And a lot of times, men don't know what it is that they want to do until they're actually, like, for me, I go on to school and say, what you mean when you grow up? prison officer. I don't tell nobody that.
That's something you had to figure out along the way.
Yeah. As you go through life and the opportunity presents itself, you make a choice. But there are certain things that I picked up along with it prepared me for this opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The maturity levels, financial literacy, conflict resolution, how to deal with people, bro. Manners, kindness, empathy, financial literacy, the importance of saving your money, the importance of how you manage your money, spending money, investments. Like, when people say the word investment, they think about thousands of dollars. Bro, it ain't gotta be all that. But, like I said, these are the things that older men who are successful need to be passing on to younger men. All these things play a part in crime prevention. Because if I give you something to do that's constructive, that could possibly benefit you and possibly benefit your family, I don't see why you wouldn't likely lean towards that.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? But the problem is, it ain't that the police ain't know what they're supposed to do, or the government ain't know what they're supposed to do. We have society that really ain't know what they're supposed to do, and they ain't raising their children properly. Niggas ain't there. Your child is not the government's responsibility, you know.
That is correct.
Your child is your responsibility. And if you don't have if every other day you have a new boyfriend, your son ain't gonna ever imprint on a man like a role model. But the gang members are constant. He always was there. The dope man always was there. He ain't going nowhere. Their boyfriends is changed every 2 weeks. Oh, Jesus. I just being real, bro. So if the dope man always there, and he always said, yeah, bro, what's going on, boy? Everything cool? School's good today? How you doing on the bucks, bro? Did the buying the bucks instead of gang banging? And then you be like, bro, that's why you making money. Let me show you the roll of shit, bro. Look this way. If the dope man is always there,
right,
but you can keep a man in the house to be there, then you have a problem.
But don't they say on TikTok and every place now, what it is, a man could only be kept if he wants to be kept?
Fuck that.
That's what
you gotta do your part. You gotta do your part.
That's what they say.
Fuck that. But that's in a relationship.
Fuck that.
And then the thing about it is,
I mean, that's what I've been hearing.
Women say that.
Women say that to try and get away from accountability.
I have been hearing it. Only a man wants to be kept if he wants to be kept.
That's like happy wife, happy life. Fuck that too. It ain't no happy wife, happy life. It's happy house, happy spouse, happy house. You know what I mean? Like if all of us aren't happy, nobody fucking happy.
If mommy ain't happy, nobody happy.
Fuck that. It ain't just about one person, bro. It's a team. If your wife is happy and you miserable, everybody fucking miserable.
So the women out there on social media are saying a man only wants to be kept if he wants to be kept.
Fuck them.
I mean, I don't totally agree with that because he ain't want you if you see him.
Are you a German Shepherd? Who is keeping you? Where are you keeping you? You have to be handled? Are you a dog? Are you a pet? Handled? Were you raised inappropriately? What do I have to do to handle you? You're an adult. Handle your shit.
No, but they mean, when they say that, they mean
good scheme. Listen to me. If you do your part, you only can be responsible for your part.
That's what they mean, though.
But at the end of the day, bro, you won't get off scot-free. It's some shit you was doing.
It always takes two.
All right. It cost this nigga to one. My wife, I love my wife.
It always takes two.
I don't always like my wife, but some days, my wife, I can't answer it on camera, bro. I just say it, bro. Like, it really takes two. You understand what I'm saying?
That's what a relationship is.
You can't put all the blame or my... Bro,
that's what a relationship is. It will definitely always takes two, and that's just what it is.
Bro, I going to this gallows one night. All the towels was crusty.
Oh no.
You know what I mean?
Man.
She don't be in the water. All the towels is crusty. Dry. She's bare though, but the towel's crusty. Exactly.
Good.
Exactly. Bare and what? If your towel's crusty, you ain't made properly.
Oh, you ain't washing your towels
right there. That's a hygienic problem. But listen, I say not to say that, but I pick up on that. You ain't gonna get me to be with you if you can't even bathe properly. You gotta do your part in order for me wanting to be around you. You can't say the only man that can be kept is the man that wants to be kept. You gotta make sure you worthy enough to be kept.
That's true.
You can't just expect a nigga to stay around and you doing a bunch of garbage.
All your stuff what you do and talk
you
to him and
bathing properly.
Okay.
You doing nigga to stay around that.
That sound boisterous.
You don't use towels when you bathe? I can stay for that. No. Yeah, I make the decision to leave, but you still have a part to play in why I leave. Now, if you could say, well, the only nigga that leave
it's the man who can't handle it.
Yeah.
Then we get back to the German Shepherd. You ain't no German Shepherd.
You wasn't a man because you could not handle her. Okay?
But if you could not handle her, I call it
not handle her. She was more man than you.
I call it bark, and I tell this girl needs some help. She needs to be handled. I can't even know. Niggas should not have to handle no gals. You are not a dog.
No.
You are not a pet.
No. You know what your problem was? You wasn't masculine enough to take out her femininity or her.
You's a woman.
No, that's your fault.
You wasn't
masculine enough to take her in a feminine era. That was your problem. That was your problem.
A soft girl era.
You didn't put in a soft girl era. You ain't put in a soft girl era,
I should not have to put a woman in her feminine energy. You's a woman. You are already feminine by God's ordainment. You are feminine. What feminine energy you have to go there and seek unless you's a man? Unless you's a man. That's the only niggas I know. Only people I know who are to seek femininity is gay niggas. But if you... he said, oh, Jesus. I don't care, bro. What I'm saying is, if you was a woman, you already feminine. By God's creation, you was a woman. You already feminine.
So
I shouldn't have to bring that out of you.
Right, so that whole mantra, you got to bring that out of me. You don't...
Fuck that.
Okay.
You can keep... If you saying that, you can't be around me. Because I ain't doing that. I got too much shit going on to be trying to pull femininity or something that's already feminine. The fact that you got to pay bills don't make you man or woman. The fact that you got to pay bills makes you a fucking adult.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you got to pay your own car. A lot of times, they equate femininity to life, to adulthood, to majority. They don't equate it to being sweet and soft skin, long natural hair, and empathetic.
Well, actually, I had a talk with that before. That's true, because when a man tells a woman, okay, what I have to do, you got to be more feminine. 9 times out of 10, you'll hear the statement also, what you try and say, I got to be stupid and dumb like these young girls or something. And it's like, so you're equating that to being stupid and ignorant. It's like, that doesn't make any sense.
It's a woman, bro.
No, and you know what?
When
like
God
you said, that's
put
fair.
Adam to sleep and take his rib, he made the complete opposite of Adam. Adam was rough and hard and toiling and out and waking. He made Eve to be an assistant to him, not to carry the brunt.
Or like how you say on your TikTok now, these help him, mate, need help.
Yes, they need fucking assistance, bro. Like, Adam's shoulders are broad because he's expected to carry the brunt of the load. Women's shoulders are a little bit shorter their structure physically is softer because that's how God intended to be.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't have to make you soft. You already designed that way.
Just like how they say, I don't have to. I ain't interested in making no man.
All right, don't make no man, then. I agree. You shouldn't have made no man. I know for God's sake, did he show Gab ain't making a woman? We ain't fucking with that. All right. I got one shot left. I ain't taking that because I tell my wife I coming home normal tonight.
I didn't see you hard. It is better than it's usually be.
If I take one more, we can be down the hill, bro. I ain't hear nothing. But at the end of the day, we don't usually have like a outro to these things.
Mm-hmm. It's cool.
It's just it's cool. It's just an end to the conversation. We've been at it for about 2 hours.
Yeah, but
I can't go over 2 hours. I think it'd be right off after that. I can't do that. I gotta get the water. But at the end of the day, bro, I really just a lot of my prayers is that people who have achieved success, however that may be for them, I pray they pass on their wisdom to people behind them. Because a lot of influences are influences of nothing. You know what I mean?
Kevin, I told it was. I think it was Cat that said that you could be an influencer and don't influence nothing.
That's what you said?
Yeah, Cat.
But it's true.
Cat Williams, I think he said that.
Like you what are you doing?
Yeah.
I first of all, let me say this. A lot of Bahamians, there's more to us than being comedians.
Yes, that's correct.
There's more to us than being funny for doing dumb shit and saying dumb shit, being promiscuous, wearing clothes, spanking the grabby on a table for $1. Like, there's more to you than just being viral for dumb shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, there's more to you than what you think you are. And there's more to you than what Bahamian culture dictates that you are.
Yeah.
Because we only just go viral when we do dumb shit. I feel like a part of me is guilty of that because people associate my screaming with dumb shit. And I tell them, if you eliminate the dumb shit and you listen to
what you're actually saying, then you may probably get the message. Right?
Right. Which is why I try to pivot and not scream. But now they say, yeah, well, I see you in a while. It's because you only go viral for doing dumb shit.
No, and you know what? That's what you call maturity. Because even on the show from then until now, you could see the change. You shouldn't be stagnant in one area.
Fair. I've been doing this for 5 years.
You shouldn't be stagnant in one area.
You shouldn't be the same after 5 years.
No, you shouldn't be stagnant in one area.
I do believe a lot of
if you got to scream from now until 5 years later, something really wrong. Something seriously wrong.
I agree. But I do believe that there's more to us than just being the influences of nothing. If you have a gift, if you have a skill, if you have knowledge, don't hold on to it. Pass it on. Because somebody is watching you. For sure. Your life coaches, your marital advisors, your spiritual advisors, your lovers, your business people, entrepreneurs, fitness instructors, whoever you may be that come across this video at some point, bro.
Share your knowledge.
Just share the knowledge, bro.
Share your knowledge.
It could save a life. It could change the direction of a life. It can make a life a whole lot better, bro. It could save a life. Who knows? But at the end of the day, don't keep it to yourself.
Real talk.
You know what I mean? Like, it ain't fair. I don't agree with it. I think that if you know something, don't feel like it belongs to you entirely. The graveyard full of a lot of people who didn't share their knowledge, who didn't write books, who didn't make their mark on history because they just keep it to themselves. Don't be one of them people.
Yep.
Pass it on. Mm-hmm. You know? I can come up here and scream. I scream from time to time. You know, I ain't got no problem screaming. But at the end of the day, I still can tell you what I have in my head, what's in my heart, because I truly want better people. I truly believe that our young men need guidance. They need direction. They need a course correction.
Yep.
Because we are fucked. Y'all ain't gonna say it, but we are fucked. The government can't help your son. As much as you depend on the Minister of National Security, the government is not responsible for your child. The first person to raise and guide a child is the people who that child live with.
Yep.
Y'all gotta do your part too. And I pray y'all, I really, really pray, y'all niggas who just fucking for fucking sake, I pray y'all have some form of compassion, even if the mother crazy. You know what I mean? Fight past that. If you could, because sometimes you truly can't. If you could fight past that, try to reach out to your child, because you really could save a life in that way. You could change a life that way. You know what I mean? The worst thing you want to see is your child be successful and your child leave you out of the equation altogether when you get old. That's the thing you had. You won't think about it now, but when your child get old and they have the right to choose, and they choose to leave you and abandon you, put you in the old folks' home, and you won't get nobody to look out for you except the government, you gonna hate that. Because you go watch your child on TV, and your child ain't gonna think that I never know daddy. I never know mother. It's just me and my Grammy. You don't want that. So with all you getting, get right with your children. That's all I gotta say for you. I gotta do what? That's the benediction.
Yeah. And with that,